Welcome to the Dag Code Podcast. This is DDS, where real fans come for real sports talk and no BS. We are your hosts, Blake Melton, Bradley Newberry, and Matthew Parker has the day off. Brad, how you doing, buddy?
What up? He does have the day off, but he has sent me his picks, so I will be giving Parker's picks as well.
Can't go a day without him.
Oh, no. Mr. Point Spread.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, guys, for joining us today on this, our college prediction show for the weekend.
Yep.
Man.
Yep. Blake and I have switched places. He's back from the beach. I am at the beach. But the picks must go on. We're going to start with good old Rocky Top, South Carolina at the University of Tennessee Vols. Both teams come into this game, Blake, at 3-2. This is a matchup of the Vols' 10th scoring offense versus the South Carolina's 23rd scoring defense.
Yeah, last week was the first week that I think we got a glimpse into what it would be like to have Tennessee clicking on all cylinders on offense. Obviously, if they go against a defense, it's a pretty good scoring defense. These overthrows that have happened in the past are something that has to be cleaned up. But, I mean, we didn't see a ton of that last week. We did see a lot of running the ball last week from Tennessee. I think that will be a key to it's always going to be a key to a Josh Heupel offense. And I think that also we got to make sure that we keep cleaning things up on the defensive side of the ball. That's Tennessee, to be able to just not allow these wide open receivers in the secondary.
No, don't allow that to happen on defense. But I'm going to start by still thinking about what we saw last week with the UT offense. I love teams that run the rock, and boy, Blake, did they run the rock last week. That now, I mean, they are really rolling, man, with the Vols, and I like it. It's not just one person.
Yeah,
you guys have been talking about 2 or 3 all year.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is we got more. We got more we hadn't even seen. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's good that we have that much depth at that one position. But we still have a ways to go with depth as far as it goes on with the entire team and the complementary part of the team's aspect of how they're going to run everything. But I mean, honestly, this should be something that this should be a nothing burger, quite frankly, for Tennessee. But this is the kind of game that you worry about. Is this a trap game?
I don't think so. I don't feel like this will be a trap game for UT here. I think that this should be a game that they continue to build momentum. And what I saw last week with the Missouri game and just absolutely running it down Missouri's throat. South Carolina allows over 142 yards per game on the ground against opposing offenses, and Parker's been saying it all year. They haven't played anybody. I mean, South Carolina he thinks that they're absolutely horrible, of course. So
yeah,
I'll give a quick nugget about them, though. South Carolina leads the SEC with 9 interceptions on defense, and they also lead the SEC with 5 fumble recoveries. So
turnovers are what they do, it looks like.
I guess, but I mean, it's coming against questionable opponents. But I guess, like you've said, you can't really help what's on the schedule. Just beat the people that's on your schedule at this point. But their D can be feisty. I really don't think their offense can keep up with the Vols here.
I don't either. I mean, I think it's just going to be a matter of Hendon Hooker, managing the game. I mean, we saw what he did last week. He did very little to hurt the team. And that's what being a quarterback in the SEC is all about. It's what being a quarterback in general is all about. But, as an extra added bit of incentive or excitement or motivation if you want. I don't know if you saw it, Bradley, but Tennessee is actually going to be wearing a new uniform.
That was interesting because I was about to read Parker's quick take and give you his pick, and that was the very first thing he wanted me to call out.
Yeah. So the uniform combination that they're using, they're calling it dark mode. Because it is.
Are they going to look like Halloween out there, a little black and
orange? They are. I mean, they have black jerseys with orange letters and numbers. That is. It's going to be interesting. They were trying to get a different helmet set up, but due to supply chain problems, they couldn't get anybody that could get it for them. So they basically put racing stripes on the helmets and made their face mask gear black instead of white. It's kind of cool looking. It really excited the players when they unveiled it. It gives them a little more, because you got to keep in mind, these are 18 to 22-year-old kids. They get excited about that kind of stuff. And it's an SEC home opener. So I agree with you. This should not be a trap game because I think that these kids are probably going to be fired up.
Yeah. Here, I'll read Parker's take, give you his pick, and then we'll give our picks real quick here. We got straight from Parker. He says, I love the black uniforms. This is a terrible matchup for South Carolina. If the UT Vols just play their game, they should win by 3 touchdowns. So he's going 35-14.
There you
Vols.
go. Well, I am going to echo that sentiment. I think that, unfortunately for South Carolina, they're catching Tennessee at the wrong time after they just, I think, kind of discovered themselves and everything kind of clicked. And I think as a Tennessee fan, I'm hoping that continues. And I think this is going to be a big win for Tennessee. I think this is probably going to be on the order. I'm going to call it 42-14.
Okay. Yeah, I will definitely side with the home team here, the team that I trust can run the ball better here. I know that I've been picking on the Vols, their cornerbacks and safeties all year, but I don't have any faith in Luke, South Carolina's luck on Luke. Forget that stuff.
Whatever.
Man. UT wins this game. Maybe the final score doesn't look as bad as it really was. I think this could be one of those where Tennessee just gets up.
It gets out of hand real early kind of thing.
And then it just kind of, who cares at that point? So I'm going home team. I'm going Vols 30-21.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
We're all on the Vols. Yeah. But I think that this could be like a 30-7. And it's just like,
where South Carolina scores a bunch in garbage time kind of thing.
Yeah, where it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yep. Tennessee should be in control all day. Moving on to another team that should be in control all day. The Florida Gators homecoming. They have the Vanderbilt coming to the swamp for their homecoming game. And Blake, got to believe the Gators are going to be angry for this one.
Yeah, again, the Vanderbilt Commodores are catching the Florida Gators at the wrong time. This is going to be.
When can they ever catch Florida at a good time? We're talking about Vandy versus Florida.
Point taken there, but hear me out. I mean, this is going to be a freaking epic ass whipping. To the tune of, what's the line? Is it like 38.5 or something like that? Something stupid.
No, I wouldn't mess with the
It's
line.
39.
Ooh.
39. I think that Vegas has got it pretty spot on. I think it's going to be a 40-plus point victory. I think that the Gators are pissed that they, got upset by Kentucky. And unfortunately for Vanderbilt, they were already going to lose. Now they're going to lose in an embarrassing fashion, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're angry. The fans are angry at Florida as well. They're angry at coach. They didn't like the look of him smiling as the clock went down to 0 at Kroger Field. They didn't like him smiling as they lost, and there's just a lot of anger right now. I mean, the players they're excited to get back out there and just whip somebody. The crowd is angry at coach, so it's just a volatile situation. I mean, it's the perfect opponent just to release.
It's a get right game for sure.
Just everyone to get their release. And sorry, Vandy, you just happen to be the victim. But
yeah, and you know, it's kind of weird. You mentioned all the anger, and I just don't get it because, I mean, the smiling and everything, that's who Dan Mullen is. That's just who he is. He kind of always has this shit-eating grin on his face. I mean, love him or hate him. Yeah, they shouldn't have lost to Kentucky, but I think we're going to find out how much of a motivator Dan Mullen is because moving forward, he's got to have his guys ready to play.
I honestly think the smile comes from, look, you know, during the heat of the moment when it's a game, that's one thing, but he has respect for Stoops.
Yeah.
And Stoops just beat him, man. He ain't going to go to midfield and just be like, oh, I'm so angry. He's happy for the dude. They have a mutual admiration.
Well, yes, very much so. And I think there's a whole nother portion of this that I really do think Dan Mullen's a good coach. I really do. And part of being a good coach is the lessons that you get to teach kids whenever they make mistakes. Whenever they, you know, have things come up like they lose to a team they shouldn't have lost to. And you get to teach them a lesson. You get to explain to them what they did wrong, why it happened, and things like that. And look, the smile is whatever, dude. But I think that this is a moment that if you're a coach, you kind of relish in this because this is what you're paid for. You know, adversity breeds greatness. And, you know, this is the first real bit of adversity that this Florida team has seen this year. I mean, yeah, they lost to Alabama, but I mean, everybody's losing to Alabama.
Right.
But this is something that I think that he believes that he can make his guys grow from.
Yeah. One last stat, and then I'll read Parker's take real quick. I've got Florida has won 29 of the last 30 games against Vanderbilt. Florida's number 3 in the nation with rushing 292 yards a game versus Vanderbilt's rush defense, which ranks number 117. This will be a long, long day. Parker says the Florida Gators needed a get-right game after losing to Kentucky. Not only does Vanderbilt suck, but they're hurt as well. He believes Florida rolls by 30-plus points in this game.
I think this is going to be an embarrassing loss, even though it was already it was going to be embarrassing regardless. But I'm calling this not only a beatdown, it's going to be a shutout. I'm calling this 42-0.
Oh, boy, man, makes the Gator fan feel bad for what I wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, I think we just see everybody play here. I think we're going to see Jones, Richardson, and anyone else they want to trot out there. I wrote down Florida 45-13.
No chance.
I don't even know why I think
13.
Vanderbilt scores a touchdown.
Yeah, no chance. no freaking chance.
Maybe
that's pity. You're just having pity on them.
Maybe Vandy blocks a field goal and runs it back for a touchdown.
Oh, the crowd will riot if that happens.
Oof. Well, we're all on Florida. Then we went to game of the week. Definitely going to miss Parker's live takes on this one because we love talking about Iowa with him.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going number 4, Penn State, which is your favorite head coach.
Mm-hmm.
At number 3, Iowa, Parker's favorite team. Blake, both teams are coming into this game at 5-0. This is a matchup of the Iowa Hawkeye defense versus the patience of the Penn State offense.
Yeah, I mean, these are, I mean, it's kind of weird saying that, Penn State is a kind of a meh, team, but this is kind of a battle between the two teams that are kind of in the top 10. I mean, I don't think a lot of people know too much about them. I know that we hear a lot of it from Parker about Iowa. And personally, I kind of use that as my barometer. I believe the word is fraudulent that Parker uses. I I tend to believe that as much as I can't stand James Franklin, he is a schemer. I know he's got something up his sleeve here, and I can't look at this and think that Penn State doesn't come out on top. I mean, I know that I think Vegas has got it the other way around, don't they? Thinking here.
I don't even.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
To the spread. But while you're looking that up, the last time that Penn State lost was to Iowa.
That's interesting.
That was the last time Penn State's lost a football game. They lost to Iowa last year, 41-21. In that game, Iowa forced 4 turnovers. I mean, this is the story of Iowa. I mean, Parker keeps saying they're one of the luckiest teams, if not the luckiest team in college football. But man, I've said it. I'm like, if they're forcing these turnovers, that's got to be something, though. You can't just say luck every single time, right?
So Vegas has got Iowa at 1.5.
I mean, it's pretty much a pick 'em.
It's totally a pick 'em. If it was
on a neutral field, they're leaning Penn State. Usually home field is a 3-point swing.
Well, and exactly, and that kind of makes me think. I can't get it through my head that James Franklin's stupid face is going to be the one coming out on top.
Oof. Well, Iowa.
I think it'll be a close game. This is going to be a good game. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. This is going to be a good game.
They've had a game where they forced 3 turnovers, 4 turnovers, and then they had a whopping 7 against Maryland last week, man. I mean, something's working on this Hawkeye defense. Parker's take is he believes Penn State has been more battle tested.
I could see that.
This luck for Iowa has to end. The average starting position for a college football team is the 30-yard line. Iowa, on the other hand, has started on its opponent's side 25% of their possessions. This madness has to end. He says, I don't love it, but I'm going to have to pick Penn State.
Wow. Very well said. I am picking Penn State.
He wouldn't pick Iowa.
Oh, no, never. But I am going to pick Penn State as well. Like I said, I can't stand James Franklin and his stupid face, but I believe that they're going to come out. Excuse me. Yeah. They're going to come out victorious. It's going to be it's going to be a close game. I actually think this is going to be a field goal. It's going to be the difference in the game.
Yeah,
I think this is a 2017 game. Penn State.
Okay, man. I'm that score. Listen, whenever I say this, I'm very close. But Parker, this one's for you. Here's what I see. Noobstradamus.
Oh boy.
21-21. With about, let's say about 3 minutes to go in the game, Parker. 21-21. Penn State has the ball. They're just first down after a punt, so they have it at their 10-yard line at their own 10. And Iowa luck strikes again. The snap flies over the quarterback's head. Iowa then tackles the quarterback in the end zone for a safety.
A safety.
Iowa wins 23-21 on a safety.
Wow.
Take that to the bank.
Somebody put that in as a parlay. Good grief. Might make somebody a multi-millionaire there if that happens.
I mean, if Parker wants to hear lucky, that's about as lucky as it gets right there.
I guess so.
But I think it is a field goal game, too. I agree with you.
Yeah.
All right, underdog time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to make some money with your boys. I'll start with Parker here. Underdog. He likes Virginia Tech to knock off Notre Dame. He said
that's a good one.
Notre Dame's playoff chances are done, and this could be a huge letdown spot for them this week against Virginia Tech. He's going Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I mean it just seems like everything's been a struggle for Notre Dame this year, and I think I'm with Parker there. I think this is going to be just the final nail in the coffin here for Notre Dame this year. And after that, I think these players are probably going to start shutting it down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had the same fear for my team too. As I mentioned in the reaction show, that's 2 losses. It's over. I mean, the kids can still play, but you can forget about postseason stuff.
Yeah.
Did you find one? Does Daddy have a feeling this week?
Let's can we remind everybody how Daddy's been doing?
Yes, I can. I
got on these picks.
Blake in college is 18-7 overall, and leading the boys at 4-1 with his straight up underdogs.
And my dogs would have won. I would be 5-0 if Appalachian State could have freaking got close enough to kick a field goal. But anyways, I'm not bitter about it. Not bitter one bit. But so, I'm reaching deep down here because I had to do some digging here to be able to justify this feeling that I was having, because I wasn't really sure if there really was a good underdog this week that I had a really good feeling about. And, after doing a little bit of research, I'm turning my attention to the Ole Miss Arkansas game.
Oh, he's got barbecue on his mind again.
I mean, I know. Arkansas got their ass whipped by Georgia. I got it. I think that is by far the best team that they have played, and quite possibly the best team they will play this year. Quite possibly the best team anybody would play this year in Georgia. I just don't think that this Ole Miss by 5.5. I don't think that's right. I don't know where that number came from, because I did some looking at the Ole Miss Rebels. Their overall defense, team statistics, 131st overall. They're 141st against the run, giving up over 150 points or yards per game, excuse me. And they're not that great at passing either. They're 128th at passing. They're really all about their high power offense. They have the 8th overall, offense in the country. But you look at Arkansas, they have the 33rd best rushing offense. They're averaging 223.8 rushing yards.
And I'd argue it would look a lot better, except for they went up against an NFL defensive line last week.
Exactly. And I just think that Ole Miss, they have a really high powered offense, but I can tell you, looking at this defense for the Razorbacks, they're the 9th best passing defense in the country, giving up 129.8 passing yards per game. I'm just looking at that, and I'm like, I still think that chip is still on the Razorback shoulders. I really do. I think that this is going to be a red-ass game like you had never seen.
Yeah.
Now, I know Ole Miss got beat by Alabama, blah, blah. I mean, come on. Anybody really think that Ole Miss was going to beat Alabama? I don't know what all the hoopla was about that. Daddy's got a feeling. I've just got a feeling. I think that we're talking a potential coach of the year in Pittman. I think he just knows how to get these guys going, and they're playing for him. I think this will be a very good game, but I think that we're gonna find out real quick who the better coach is and who can motivate their guys better, because I think the Razorbacks are going to come in here and they're going to pull this thing off against the Ole Miss. I can't say Rebels anymore, right? Ole Miss.
The Land Sharks.
I don't know. I mean, CBS still calls them the Ole Miss Rebels, but whatever.
The Ole Miss Kiffins.
Yeah. But anyways, that's Daddy's pick there.
There it is.
Arkansas.
Pig.
Write it down. Woo Pig Suey.
Well, I'm going to go to a game that apparently Vegas thinks fireworks will be all over the field, folks, because the over-under is set at 70. 7-0. Jeez. 5-0 University of Texas San Antonio Roadrunners, who Parker has talked about before, at Western Kentucky, 1-3 Western Kentucky, and Western Kentucky's a 3.5-point favorite, Blake, here in this matchup. I mean, it's one of those that you look at it from afar, which I know nothing about either one of these teams, and I'm like, 5-0, 1-3. 5-0, 1-3. The home team is favored by 3.5.
And the over-under,
like the other team. It just feels like the other team knows how to win. Looking at the stats here, believe it or not, Western Kentucky, they listen to this, man. They are second, number 2 overall in passing in the country. 441.5 yards passing per game. They are Western Kentucky is the number 15th overall offense in the country. Over 520 yards of offense per game.
That's where that 70s number is coming from.
Holy henna. But I'm gonna stick with the Roadrunners to run over Western Kentucky and straight up win. Just go ahead and take the 3.5 points for extra if you want.
Okay. Jeez. Man.
But Parker, let me tell you what he likes this week. His best bet. And I'm scared to death of this game. This is what he wants. He says, hey, Oklahoma -3 versus Texas. These close games Oklahoma has been involved in has this line shortened. The one real team Texas played, they got killed. He believes Oklahoma can win this game by 7, although Texas seems to have finally found their coach. I wouldn't touch this game with a 10-foot pole, man, but good luck to you, Parker.
What they should do is they should say, hey, whichever one of these teams wins is allowed to come into the SEC. This is a play-in game. Play-in right here.
Yeah. I think you're sticking SEC with your best bet, right?
I am looking at where is it at? Sorry, I just had it up and now I know the team. Just getting the line for you. I'm looking at the Alabama game. Alabama, Texas A&M. Right now, it's Alabama -18.
Was it 18?
Yeah.
18.
I believe, I mean, look, I'm one of those that if you go back and watch our SEC preview show or college football preview show, I had high hopes for this Texas A&M team. And this is one of the games that I think we all had circled, that we thought, man, this is going to be the game that could quite possibly determine, who's going to be the SEC champ. And lo and behold, Texas A&M is a giant fraudulent burger. And I think that this is going to continue. I think that Jimbo he's just screwing up. And I mean, everybody in College Station's got to be pissed right now. They can't get rid of him because his freaking contract is like $100 million or something guaranteed. So, I mean, he basically owns Texas A&M at this point. I just don't think this is going to be a fun game for him. And I think the fraudulicity whatever is going to continue. And I think Nick Saban continues his dominance over his former assistant coaches.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this one could be coverage after quarter one. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going to go outside the SEC a little bit. I'm looking at the Michigan State at Rutgers game. Michigan State is 5-0, just outside the top 10. I am going to lay the 5 points with Michigan State. I'm going Michigan State -5. They have the leading rusher in the nation with Kenneth Walker III. He has 680 yards and 8 touchdowns on the ground. I believe, just like I've said with Cincinnati a few times, this is a just keep proving it type of game with the team just outside the top 10. Makes them a little hungrier than most. I think that they try to just go ahead and score a lot of points here. Michigan State -5.
Yeah. Do you think Cincinnati feels a little snubbed?
I think Cincinnati is about right where they should expect to be, and now all that they can do is just keep playing the schedule in front of them. All of the show me games are over because now they just have conference stuff. So.
Sorry, I know that was random. It just popped in my head.
Yeah, I mean, Cincinnati, don't worry about what you're hearing. I mean, this is the problem that not only colleges but pro teams could fall in is, if they get their feelings hurt about what others say about them, then they're going to lose focus and lose a game.
Yeah,
because Cincinnati can't lose a game. You can't.
No,
they can't. Stay focused. Don't listen to any of this.
Yeah, you're right though. I mean, they have to just dominate. They got to beat the shit out of folks from here on out to even have a chance. So sorry, I know that was random. Totally threw you off your rhythm there, but it's our podcast. We do whatever the hell we want. But anyways, yes. So Michigan State was yours. All right.
Yeah, Michigan State -5.
Guys, if you want to make some money, write some of that down, man. We got a pretty good track record so far this year. Somebody's making a lot of money off of us. Is it going to be you?
I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I'm 18-7. Blake is 18-7. Parker is 16-9. And I mean, we're just keep on rolling, folks. Check
Absolutely.
it out.
Particularly these underdog bets. I mean, what do you got to lose? Some of them, good grief. Jeez. I mean, it's not a lot of money for a pretty big payout. So,
nope.
But anyways, well, hey guys, thanks for joining us for our college football predictions show. We invite you to follow us on Twitter at DDS Sports Talk. Leave us a comment there. Get the discussion started. Tell us what you think about our picks. Tell us how much money you've won off of our picks. Bradley, any closing thoughts here?
Of course. Vandy equals gator bait, chomp, chomp.
And I'll follow up with that. Go Big Orange. You guys be well.